Today I'm going to begin using 3 2x2 wooden posts in 3 different sizes, a roll of painter's tape that you can purchase at Walmart, wooden craft stars that I picked up from Hobby Lobby. You will need acrylic craft paint in the colors of red, white, and blue. Taking your largest post and your painter's tape, you will take the painter's tape and you will use that to create stripes that are representative of the stripes on the American flag. Starting at the bottom, wrap your first piece all the way around your post, making sure that your lines are extremely straight and that you are creating a good seal with your tape. It is very important that we do that in the beginning so that you don't have to come back later on in the project and do a lot of cleanup work with your paint. Make sure your seals are good and then you can cut off any excess. I'm going to just now take my finger and go around all 4 edges with my finger just to make sure that I'm getting a good solid seal with that tape. Using a small piece of my painter's tape, I'm going to create a spacer just so that all of my stripes are the same width. Once I begin putting on the next piece of painter's tape, you can remove your spacer tape so that it is not in your way. Just continue all the way around your pillar, making sure that you're getting that next piece straight and also creating a good seal. Do this all the way to the top. Some of these stripes may give you a little bit of trouble, but it is well worth your effort to take your time and make sure that they are straight now so that, like I said, you don't have to go back later in the project and clean them up. Using our red acrylic paint, we are going to paint all of the white areas. You're going to want to make sure that you get a good solid coat of paint on all of these areas. It is totally up to you if you want a lighter coat or if you want to go back with a second coat to make your red spaces a little bit deeper. We are going to go back and antique these in the end, so it is totally up to you and it's what you prefer. Working my way all the way up to the top. As soon as this is finished, you're going to let it sit and dry for about an hour before you remove your painter's tape. Now, using our blue acrylic paint, we are going to take the medium-sized pillar and we are going to give it one solid coat of paint. You will see that I've used a lighter blue paint instead of a true navy color because we will be using the antiquing wax from Waverly and it will cause this lighter acrylic paint to darken up later on. You can use a star stencil to create your stars, but in this case I had some extra wooden stars on hand that had already been painted white from a different project, and I'm going to be using those with my hot glue gun, making sure that the point of the star is facing up. You can use these stars in any pattern you want to on your post. Just make a design that you like. I use 6 stars on either side, alternating sides. Continue your pattern, and once you have finished, you may set this post over to the side. At this time, we are going to unwrap our painter's tape from our red and white striped post, making sure that there is no seepage on the white parts. If there is, you would need to go back and touch up with your red or white paint depending on where the seepage came from. And here are your 2 completed posts. Now we will begin with our antique wax. This is something that you're going to have to decide on your own. You can go as light or as heavy as you want to. I decided to kind of go a little bit heavy on mine because I decided I wanted it to be very aged looking and antique. But it is totally up to you if you want to leave it a little bit more light and whimsical. And you don't even have to use the wax at all, totally your preference. I did use the sanding block here to kind of rough up the edges so that maybe the antique wax would have something to adhere to, just a little bit. You don't have to go overboard with this because it will have the antique wax on it as well. And like I did on the first one, you can go as heavy or as light as you want to. It took me a little while with the blue to decide how much I wanted to put on. Now, with our small white pillar, I created a 4 using a ruler and a piece of paper. I'm going to take some painter's tape and tape it down. And I'm going to use my pencil to trace out the 4. You can use a stencil. If you have a Cricut, you can definitely make your own 4 and just put it on there. Just use the sticker and maybe some Mod Podge. But I decided I wanted it to be a more antique look, so I decided to go ahead and paint it myself. Just remove your stencil and clean up any of your edges. You can always go back and check to see if you have everything in line. That's always a good idea. Now that we're ready, we will start painting the inside of our 4, making sure that we give it a nice solid coat of paint. You will want to make sure that you allow this paint to dry thoroughly because we will be putting the antique wax over it. I would give it about an hour to an hour and a half to dry, because once you add the wax to it and you start pulling some of that off, you do not want to pull any red paint back down into the white spots. So just make sure that you're really careful with making sure your project is dry first. Here we go with the wax, just adding as much as you want or taking off as much as you want, just like we did with the others. One thing that I will say about this, having the 4 on here kind of makes it very specific to the 4th of July. If you did not want to use the 4 on your pillar, then you could definitely hold off and just use a white pillar instead, because there are other patriotic times of the year, Veterans Day, Memorial Day, that you could put these out and decorate with them. The one thing I do love about craft projects is that you get to make them your own. So there's no right or wrong way to do a craft project. So if there's something that you see that I've done that you want to do differently, it is totally up to you to do that. Finishing up with our wax right here, as you can see, make sure that you take off all the excess wax that you don't need, or add a little bit more in places that you do need more wax, and set it to the side to dry. Once it is dry, you're going to come back and put the TH. This did take a little bit of time because I am a little OCD when it comes to spacing and lettering, especially if I'm hand painting it. So you just do whatever is easier for you. Sometimes using a stencil, or like I said, the Cricut would be an easier method for some people. Now it is time for me to add our fuses to our firecrackers. So I'm going to get out my cordless drill. We're going to drill a hole into the center. We're going to go about 1/4 of an inch deep, just enough to add our rope down inside. I went ahead and did that for all 3 of the firecrackers. You're going to need some craft rope. Using some scissors, cut off about 2.5 inches of crafting rope. One thing I did learn is that my scissors are either not sharp enough or I need some more heavy duty ones for this craft rope, because it did take me quite a while to get through this craft rope. But I kept working at it and I finally got through it. I did choose to take my piece of rope and to burn off all the little excess strings. I do have a bucket of water near me in case the rope caught fire, but make sure that you do not do this inside your home. Always remember safety first. I am going to go to the very end of this rope and burn it a little bit extra, just so it can kind of look like the fuse has been lit before. Burning this rope or taking off the excess strings is definitely optional. You do not have to do this step. If you are uncomfortable doing this, I would definitely recommend you not doing it. I'm now going to take my hot glue gun and fill in the hole at the top of the firework, and then I'm going to insert my rope. You would definitely need to do like a little twisting motion to kind of get it down inside that glue and to make sure that it forms a secure hold. Continue this with the other two fireworks.